In high definition, live, local, connected at 9 o'clock. This is Hawaii News Now.
Oahu's pothole problems take a back seat to another island's weather-related troubles. Good evening, everyone. I'm Stephanie Lum. You may have noticed that the Florida Fix potholes on state highways on Oahu has downshifted a bit. Jim Mendoza has the reason in a story you'll see only on Hawaii News Now.
Many of the potholes and gouges that dot the freeway and state roads on Oahu are pits waiting for a patch.
They can range from small little potholes to, huge potholes where, we have to actually take the whole lane.
Those repairs haven't taken a back seat, but they have slowed down because of the amount of significant damage done to Kauai's highways by the recent storms. Most of the mixture the state uses to fill potholes has gone there.
It was a matter of necessity and just making sure we can help get those residents on the North Shore, getting their roads open so that they could commute, and get access and get to their destination.
The patching compound comes from GP Roadway Solutions. It's called Instant Road Repair. The state sent an entire container's worth, about 860 50-pound buckets to Kauai. So on Oahu, supply dropped to only about 520 buckets. But that's just a drop in the bucket. So slowing down work on Oahu was necessary. 2 to 3 small potholes will take 1 bucket to give you a range of that. And then, of course, one of the bigger ones that you see where it takes up a lane will take a full bucket, maybe a bucket and a half. GP Roadway Solutions says it has over a dozen pallets of the mix for Oahu on standby and another order ready to go. So the state pothole patchers should be back on a regular schedule next week.
Weather permitting, of course. Weather permitting, you'll see them out on the H1 again, and then they'll start making their cycles around the island. Jim
Mendoza, Hawaii News Now.
A Big Island man who's never been arrested before is now indicted on 14 counts tied to child pornography. The charges against 21-year-old Daniel Anthony Elmore include promoting child porn and abuse. The alleged victim, a teenage girl. Her family notified police. Officers arrested Elmore yesterday at his Ocean View home. He's pleaded not guilty. Trial is set for July. Back on Oahu, a circuit court judge used a chokehold to subdue a man who barged into his courtroom. A public safety official says Stephen Hay jumped onto Judge Lono Lee's bench Monday and then snapped the Hawaiian state flagpole in two. And that's when Lee knocked down the 55-year-old and used a chokehold to subdue him until sheriff's deputies arrived. Hay faces several charges, including disorderly conduct and criminal damage. It's unclear why he entered the courtroom. Thank you, Brooks. And now might be a good time to turn those stray buckets in your yard upside down because we may be expecting some rain, right, Guy?
That's right, Steph. We're taking a turn into wetter weather. Scattered showers are pushing through many neighborhoods tonight. Now, most of the rain, as you can see, is favoring those windward sides. But because the trade winds have picked up, some of those splashes are occasionally drifting over to the leeward sides, too. Now, here's what's happening. That high-pressure fan to our north is getting stronger, so it'll be windier tomorrow. Then this old cold front is dropping in closer to the state. This is the source of the rain for the next couple of days. And then another disturbance is going to be moving in and enhancing those showers on Friday. That's when we're likely to see some heavy rain. Now, coming up later, a check on those new Town and Country swells.
All right. Major grocery store chain says it'll stop selling the meat filler known as pink slime. We'll have more on that ahead at 9. Plus, the family of a local underwater photographer asks for your prayers. We'll have an update on Mike Prickett's road to recovery coming up also.
There are rumors that this new iPad gets too hot. I'm Kara Suboy, CNET.com, and I'll have the CNET take on that coming up next.
Live, local, connected at 9 o'clock. You're watching Hawaii News Now with Stephanie Lum.
An Oahu underwater photographer being treated for a severe case of the bends managed to move his legs a little more today. Mike Prickett remains hospitalized in Tahiti.
Live, local, connected at 9 o'clock. You're watching Hawaii News Now with Stephanie Lum.
Don't be fooled by the name. A popular Honolulu eatery called the Pioneer Saloon doesn't feature culinary creations from the Wild Wild West. Guy Huggy and Kat Toth explain in this week's Cheap Eat.
I'll have your complete forecast coming up after the break.
All right, thanks, Guy. And here's a look at one of the snapshots set to connect now. This one's called Makua Magic. You can see why. Our viewer Leilani says the setting sun amidst the KFVE trees with the sound of Hawaiian music blowing in the breeze, she says, is just magic.
From Hawaii's severe weather team, this is Hawaii Weather Now with Guy Huggy.
Oh, it was one of those sunsets that was a sight to behold. Look at Aaliyah snapping this picture and sending it to her dad. Ted Craig over on Maui, he said the sky just exploded out near Makena. Beautiful stuff out there. And we are expecting that not to come back for a couple of days because clouds are moving in. There's an old front drop. Boost at about 2 to 3 feet. That's Chris Tanaka size right there. So weekend's looking a little bittersweet. We're going to get those cloudy skies, scattered showers, some of them heavy on Saturday, slowly drying up on Sunday. Hopefully we've made the turn out of wetter weather by the first part of next week.
Okay, so remember that nasty storm system we had a while back and it dumped a lot of rain.
Yeah.
Are we expecting the same with this one?
Doesn't look like it's going to be quite as dynamic. And we don't see any thunderstorms out there, and we aren't expecting anything like that. But you know, with that much rain and the ground already saturated, there could be a possibility of flooding. So watch out.
It might be focused on Kauai too.
Not likely. Okay. More dispersed in this case.
Okay, great. Okay, yeah. Thank you, Guy.
Next on Hawaii Sports Now.
A former Warrior has himself a new NFL home where Samson Satele chose to go, and Warriors tight end coach Phil Rauscher has a simple rule for his troops. He's going to tell you what it is next.
Live, local, connected at 9 o'clock. This is Hawaii Sports Now with Chris Tanaka.
Tell you what, when you watch the Warriors practice, there are immediate differences that jump out.
All right, so let's talk about weather one more time.
All right, get ready because things are going to turn for the weather. In fact, already we had more rain today than we had for the last couple of days. And we are going to get even more rain on Friday and on Saturday. So it's kind of a bittersweet, sour weekend. We're going to be getting mostly cloudy with some showers, some of them heavy on Saturday. Hopefully drying up with softer winds on Sunday. And then at this point, Monday's looking mighty nice. But I think we'd rather have Saturday nice instead of Monday.
So in other words, if you're planning to wash your car, don't do it. Just wait.
Perfect excuse.
Good night.